Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when we all ask ourselves, why am I here? What is the reason behind my existence? Some people search for years, some give up, and some never even try. But let me tell you something. Finding your purpose is not about waiting for a miracle. It is about listening to your heart. Your purpose is not hidden in money, or in fame, or in the applause of people. It lives inside you. It's that voice which keeps telling you, you are made for something greater. It's that small dream you carry, even when the world says it's impossible. Purpose is not found outside, it lives within you. We grow up believing that purpose is something we have to go out and hunt for. We imagine that one day we will stumble upon a hidden treasure, or someone will tell us the secret reason why we were born. But the truth is far more gentle and far more powerful. Purpose is not something that comes from the world around you. It comes from inside your own heart. It is the whisper that keeps repeating in your soul, even when the world is full of noise. It is the small spark that lights up when you do something that feels right, when you feel alive, when you feel complete without needing applause. So many people spend their entire lives chasing the wrong things, believing that if they earn more money, get more recognition, or reach a certain position, they will finally understand why they are here. And yet when they arrive at those milestones, the emptiness still remains. That is because purpose does not live in the house you own, the car you drive, or the title on your business card. Purpose is not in the hands of others. It is already planted deep in your own heart. To connect with that inner purpose, you need to slow down and listen. Listen to what excites you, what makes you lose track of time, what brings you peace. It might not be loud, it might not be dramatic, but it is real. Maybe it is the way you write. Maybe it is the way you care for people. Maybe it is the way you create or solve problems. These are not accidents. These are hints that your purpose has been giving you all along. The challenge is that we are often too busy comparing ourselves with others to notice it. We look at what society calls success and we forget to ask what truly makes our own hearts beat faster. The purpose inside you does not demand perfection. It does not require you to have all the answers. It simply asks you to trust it, to take small steps in the direction it points to. You don't need to wait for the perfect opportunity or for everything to fall into place. You only need to honor the voice within that says, this is what I was made for. The world may not always understand it, and people may even doubt you, but your inner calling is not for them to approve. It is for you to live. When you start walking in alignment with what is inside you, life begins to feel lighter. It is not that problems disappear, but you gain strength to face them, because you know you are walking your own road. Each challenge becomes a teacher. Every setback becomes a lesson that pushes you closer to who you are meant to be. The outside world may still chase wealth, fame, or power, but you will discover that true fulfillment comes when your inner and outer worlds match. That is when peace enters your life, not because of what you have achieved, but because you are finally living as who you were created to be. Struggles shape you, they don't break you. Every person walking this earth carries a story of pain, of battles fought in silence, of tears wiped away when no one was watching. We often see our struggles as punishment, as a sign that life has been unfair to us. But in reality, struggles are the very things that mold us into who we are meant to become. When you go through hardship, you are not being destroyed, you are being prepared. The difficulties that you face are carving strength into your character, patience into your soul, and resilience into your spirit. It is easy to believe that people who look successful have never been through pain, but that is far from the truth. Behind every smile, there are moments of doubt. Behind every achievement, there are countless nights of fear and failure. The difference between those who rise and those who stop is not the absence of struggle, but the way they choose to see it. Some allow challenges to define them, while others let challenges refine them. A broken heart teaches you empathy. A failure teaches you courage. A loss teaches you gratitude. These are not signs of weakness. They are the very lessons that give you depth. Think of a seed buried in the dark soil. To the seed, the pressure and the darkness feel endless. Yet that same pressure forces it to break open, to push roots downward and a stem upward. Without that struggle, the seed would never grow into a tree. Life works the same way. The weight you feel right now is not meant to crush you. It is meant to grow you. If you could see what you are becoming because of your hardships, you would no longer curse them. You would embrace them as part of the journey. Struggles also strip away the false masks we wear. When everything is easy, we hide behind comfort and pride. But when life gets hard, the real you emerges. Your patience, your strength, your creativity, all rise to the surface, because you are forced to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. You discover that you are capable of more than you imagined. You find a courage that was sleeping inside you. You realize that the things you once thought were limits are only stepping stones. Many times we think that struggle is a sign we are on the wrong path. In reality, it can be proof that we are on the right one. Anything meaningful will test you. Anything worth having will stretch you. The mountain in front of you is not blocking your way. It is shaping your muscles so that when you reach the top, you can stand tall and strong. Struggles are reminders that growth is happening, even when you cannot yet see the result. So when you find yourself in the middle of pain, do not let your mind believe that you are finished. You are in the process of being shaped. Just as fire shapes gold and storms strengthen roots, your hardships are shaping you into someone unshakable. You are not being broken. You are being built. Be yourself. Your uniqueness is your gift to the world. From the moment we are children, the world tries to mold us into a shape that fits its expectations. We are told how to act, what to believe, what to wear, and even what dreams are worth chasing. Slowly, without realizing it, many people begin to hide their true selves under layers of imitation. They copy the way others live, hoping that in becoming like them, they will finally be accepted. But the truth is, the world does not need another copy. The world needs you, the real, unfiltered, authentic you. Your uniqueness is not an accident. Every trait, every talent, every perspective you carry has a reason. The things that make you different are not flaws to be erased. They are gifts to be embraced. Too often we compare ourselves with others, measuring our worth against their achievements, their beauty, their intelligence. But comparison blinds us from seeing our own light. You were not born to walk their path. You were born to walk yours. And the moment you stop trying to be someone else, you begin to honor the life you were given. Being yourself requires courage, because the world is quick to judge what it does not understand. People may question your choices, mock your differences, or even reject you for refusing to conform. But remember this, the very people who change the world are the ones who dared to stand apart. Every invention, every piece of art, every breakthrough came from someone who refused to silence their individuality. If they had chosen to blend in, the world would have remained the same. Your uniqueness has that same power to create change, to open new possibilities, to inspire others to embrace themselves too. When you choose to be yourself, you also free others. Authenticity is magnetic. It attracts honesty, trust, and connection. People feel safe around someone who is not pretending, because it gives them permission to remove their own masks. In a world full of performance and image, authenticity shines like a rare gem. You may not even realize how many lives you influence, simply by being real, by showing up as you are, without apology. Your uniqueness is also your purpose's greatest tool. The dreams planted in your heart were given specifically to you, with your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your perspective in mind. No one else can fulfill that role in the exact same way. Even if others have similar talents, your expression of them will always be different. That difference is your gift. When you hide it, the world misses out on what only you can bring. Sometimes people fear that being themselves means being alone. But the truth is the opposite. The more authentic you are, the more you attract the people who are meant to walk with you. Fake masks attract fake relationships. Real authenticity attracts real connection. By being yourself, you not only free your own soul, but you also create space for the right people to find you. The world is already filled with noise, with copies, with trends that come and go. What it desperately needs is originality. It needs voices that are not echoes. Lives that are not replicas. Your uniqueness is not just about what makes you special. It is about what makes you necessary. Somewhere, someone is waiting for exactly what you carry. For the perspective only you can give. For the light only you can shine. And the only way to offer that gift is to embrace who you are fully. Without hiding, without pretending, without shrinking. Courage is the fuel of your true calling. Every dream, every purpose, every vision that comes alive in the heart requires courage to move forward. Without courage, passion remains only an idea, a thought trapped inside your mind. Courage is what transforms those silent thoughts into living reality. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Many people have talent. Many people have dreams, but not everyone dares to step into the unknown. It is courage that separates the dreamers from the doers. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move despite it. Fear will always be present when you are about to do something meaningful. Fear whispers you are not ready, you are not enough, you will fail. But courage whispers louder, try anyway. Courage does not demand perfection. It only asks for action. Even trembling steps count when they are taken with courage. Every time you face fear and keep moving, your spirit grows stronger, and your belief in yourself becomes deeper. Think about all the people who have inspired you. Were they people who lived in complete safety and never faced risk? Or were they the ones who dared to take leaps into uncertainty? History remembers those who had the courage to rise after falling, to speak when silence was easier, to continue when quitting was tempting. They are not extraordinary because they were fearless. They are extraordinary because they chose courage again and again. That same courage lives inside you, waiting to be awakened. Courage is also the fuel that keeps you going when the path feels long. Passion will ignite you in the beginning, but passion alone is not enough to carry you through storms. There will be days when excitement fades, when motivation disappears, when everything in you wants to stop. In those moments, it is courage that pushes you forward. Courage is the quiet strength that says, I will take one more step. I will not give up. I will keep going until the purpose inside me comes to life. Without courage, your calling will remain only a dream. With courage, even the impossible begins to bend in your favor. Courage gives you the power to stand up against doubt, to keep walking against resistance, to try again after every failure. It is like fuel that never runs dry. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every act of courage builds another, and soon you find yourself capable of things you once thought were beyond you. Courage also inspires others. When you act boldly, you give permission to others to do the same. Your decision to step forward lights a path for someone else who is hesitating. Your bravery becomes contagious, reminding others that they too can rise above fear. In this way, courage does not just fuel your own calling, it sparks the callings of those around you. The beauty of courage is that it is always available. You do not have to wait for it to appear fully formed. It grows the moment you decide to take action. It grows when you say yes to opportunities, when you choose to face challenges, when you keep moving forward even while afraid. Little by little, courage expands until it becomes a natural part of who you are. And once courage fuels your calling, there is no limit to what you can create, become, and inspire. Pain and failures are teachers, not enemies. When life hurts, our first instinct is to resist it, to run from it, to ask, why me? We see pain as a punishment and failure as a sign that we are not good enough. But what if the very things we try to escape are the ones carrying the lessons we need the most? Every painful moment, every door that closed, every plan that fell apart, has something hidden inside it. It may feel heavy at first, but beneath that weight lies wisdom. Pain and failure do not come to destroy you. They come to shape you, to open your eyes, to prepare you for the next chapter. Think about the times you have grown the most. Was it during days of comfort, when everything was easy, or was it during moments of struggle, when life forced you to dig deeper? Pain has a way of teaching patience, humility, and empathy. Failure teaches persistence, resilience, and courage. If you never failed, you would never know the strength of standing up again. If you never experienced pain, you would never truly value joy. These difficult experiences create contrast, and through that contrast, you learn the richness of life. Failure is not the end, it is feedback. It tells you that this way did not work, but another way might. It teaches you to adjust, to innovate, to grow stronger. The most successful people in history are not the ones who avoided failure. They are the ones who used failure as a stepping stone. Each mistake became a lesson. Each rejection became redirection. What looked like an ending was actually a beginning in disguise. Pain works in a similar way. It enters your life uninvited, but it carries messages you cannot ignore. Pain strips away illusion. It forces you to pause, to reflect, to see what really matters. It breaks the walls of pride and teaches you compassion. When you have suffered, you understand the suffering of others. When you have been through darkness, you know how to guide someone else toward light. Pain gives you a depth that comfort never could. But the most important truth is this: pain and failure are temporary. They may stay for a season, but they do not define your entire life. What defines you is how you respond to them. You can choose to let them make you bitter, or you can choose to let them make you better. One choice closes your heart, the other expands it. One choice holds you back, the other sets you free. The lesson is always hidden inside the hardship, waiting for you to discover it. So instead of running from pain, ask yourself what it is trying to teach you. Instead of seeing failure as proof that you are not enough, see it as proof that you are trying, that you are brave enough to step into the arena. Every stumble is a sign that you are moving forward. Every scar is a reminder that you survived. Pain and failures are not your enemies. They are the silent teachers guiding you toward the person you are meant to become. Purpose grows when you help and inspire others. Life becomes heavier when it is lived only for oneself. When your goals revolve only around your comfort, your gain, and your achievements, the satisfaction is temporary. You might reach the milestones you set, but the joy will fade quickly, because the human heart was not created to thrive in isolation. It was created to connect, to give, to serve. Real purpose begins to expand when you step outside your own circle and touch the lives of others. Helping others does not always mean grand gestures. It can be as simple as listening to someone who feels unheard, sharing a kind word when someone is drowning in silence, or offering your time when someone feels invisible. These small acts of service carry more weight than you realize. To the world, they may look ordinary, but to the person receiving them, they may mean everything. In that moment, you are not just living for yourself, you are becoming a reason for someone else to keep going. Inspiration works the same way. When you share your story, when you show your courage, when you choose to rise despite challenges, you light a path for others to follow. You might think your journey is not significant, but someone else might be waiting to hear exactly what you have lived through. The cracks in your life, the battles you have faced, the lessons you have learned. All of these can become lanterns in the darkness for those who are struggling. Your willingness to be authentic becomes a source of hope for those who believe they are alone. Purpose grows wider each time you choose to serve instead of only seeking. When your life becomes about more than just yourself, the meaning deepens. The joy of helping is different from any other kind of joy, because it is rooted in love. Fame fades, money fluctuates, achievements lose their shine, but the memory of the lives you touched stays alive long after you are gone. That is the kind of purpose that outlives you. Serving and inspiring others also changes you from within. It softens your heart, teaches you empathy, and reminds you of what really matters. You realize that true greatness is not measured by how high you climb, but by how many people you bring with you on the climb. Every time you lift someone else, you rise too. Every time you inspire someone, you remind yourself of your own strength. The cycle of giving and receiving continues, and in that cycle your purpose becomes stronger. There will be times when you feel empty, when you are unsure of what your purpose really is. In those moments, shift your focus outward. Ask yourself, who can I help today? Who can I encourage? Who can I inspire? Often clarity about your own life comes when you stop obsessing over yourself and start caring about others. Purpose is not always discovered in silence and solitude. Many times it is discovered in action, in love, in service. And the beauty of helping and inspiring others is that it multiplies. One act of kindness can spark another. One story of resilience can ignite courage in someone else. One moment of inspiration can ripple outward and touch people you may never even meet. Without realizing it, your life becomes a channel for change. Your actions become seeds that grow far beyond your reach. In this way, purpose is not just something you find, it is something you create. And it grows stronger every time you make a difference in someone else's life. Purpose is bigger than money or fame. From a young age, we are taught to measure our worth by the things we own and the recognition we receive. Society tells us that success looks like a big house, a luxurious car, a bank account filled with numbers, and crowds of people cheering our name. But deep down, every person who has ever chased these things knows that they bring only temporary satisfaction. The shine fades, the applause grows quiet, and the emptiness returns. That is because money and fame were never meant to be the definition of purpose. They may come as byproducts of what you do, but they can never be the reason why you do it. True purpose is something far deeper. It is the feeling that what you are doing matters, that your life is connected to something larger than yourself. When you live with purpose, you no longer wake up each morning simply to collect paychecks or to impress people. You wake up with meaning, with a fire in your heart that reminds you why you exist. Money can buy you comfort. Fame can bring you attention, but purpose brings you peace. And peace is something neither wealth nor recognition can guarantee. There are countless examples of people who reach the peak of fame and fortune, only to admit they still felt lost. They had everything that the world calls success, yet they were still searching for meaning. On the other hand, there are people who never make headlines, who live quietly, yet their lives shine with contentment and fulfillment. The difference is not in how much they earned or how many people knew their names. The difference lies in whether they found and followed their true purpose. Purpose also changes the way we see obstacles. If money is your only aim, then every setback feels like failure. If fame is your only dream, then every criticism feels like an attack. But when you have a bigger reason, when you know your life stands for something beyond material gain, those same obstacles become lessons. They strengthen you instead of destroying you. They remind you that the path you are walking is not about being admired, but about being authentic. When you attach your purpose to money or fame, you place your happiness in the hands of things you cannot control. Markets rise and fall, trends change, popularity shifts overnight. If your meaning depends on these things, then your identity will always be fragile. But when your purpose is rooted in values, in service, in passion, in love, then no one can take it away from you. Even in moments of loss, you remain unshaken because your foundation is strong. Living with a purpose greater than money or fame also transforms the way you affect others. People may admire wealth and recognize fame, but what touches their hearts is sincerity. When you act from your true calling, you inspire others to look within themselves. You leave an impact that lasts longer than a pay raise or a headline. Long after the money is spent and the spotlight has faded, the way you made people feel and the lives you touched remain. That is the legacy of purpose. Small steps toward passion change your life's direction. We often imagine that to create a meaningful life, we need to take one giant leap, a bold decision that changes everything overnight. But the truth is much gentler than that. Life rarely transforms in a single moment. It transforms slowly through consistent choices, through the courage to take one step today, then another tomorrow, and another the day after. Passion is not something that demands you to move mountains all at once. It simply asks you to move forward, even if that forward motion is small. Think of how rivers carve valleys. It is not one flood that shapes the land, but the steady flow of water, drop after drop, day after day. Your life works the same way. Every small action you take in the direction of your passion is carving a new path for your future. At first, you might not even notice the change. You may feel that nothing is happening. But slowly, quietly, those little steps begin to build momentum. They turn into habits. Habits turn into progress. And progress turns into transformation. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect opportunity. They hold their passion hostage until life gives them a guarantee of success. But perfection never arrives. Waiting only makes the fire inside dim. The only way to honor your passion is to begin, even with a single step. Maybe that step is writing one page. Maybe it is practicing for 10 minutes. Maybe it is making one call. These actions may look small to the world, but they are powerful signals to your own soul. They tell your heart that you are listening. They tell your passion that it matters. Small steps also take away fear. When we look at the big picture of our dreams, the size of it can overwhelm us. We think of the thousands of miles we must travel and feel paralyzed before we even take the first step. But when you break it down into tiny actions, the mountain does not seem so tall. You stop focusing on how far you have to go and start focusing on what you can do today. And every time you take one of those steps, your confidence grows. With each movement forward, You begin to believe that maybe this dream is not so impossible after all. Passion is not about speed, it is about direction. Even the slowest steps matter if they are leading you where your heart wants to go. You may take longer than others, you may stumble and pause along the way, but the path you are walking belongs to you. The progress you make, however small, is real, and with every step you are not just moving closer to your dream, you are becoming the kind of person who can live that dream fully. There will always be voices that tell you small steps are not enough, that unless you make dramatic moves you are wasting time. But those voices forget that every masterpiece is painted one stroke at a time. Every book is written one word at a time. Every journey is walked one step at a time. Your passion deserves that same patience. And in the end, those steps, no matter how small, have the power to change the entire direction of your life. Start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. So many dreams never see the light of day because people keep waiting for the right time, the right place, the right opportunity. They believe that one day, conditions will line up perfectly and that will be the moment to begin. But life does not work that way. There will always be reasons to delay, always be fears that whisper not yet, always be doubts that convince you to wait a little longer. The perfect moment is an illusion. The only real moment you have is now. When you tell yourself you will start later, what you are really doing is postponing your own growth. Time passes, whether you act or not. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years. And suddenly you look back and wonder why nothing changed. The truth is, it is not lack of time that holds people back. It is lack of courage to begin. Starting now does not mean you have everything figured out. It simply means you are willing to take one step with what you have, where you are. Many people believe they need all the resources, all the skills, or all the connections before they start. But greatness has never begun with everything in place. Every successful journey began with uncertainty, with small resources, with imperfect conditions. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not that one group had it easier, it is that one group dared to begin. Starting small is not failure, it is the foundation of growth. When you act now, you break the chain of fear. Fear thrives on waiting. The longer you delay, the louder fear becomes. It builds stories in your mind, making challenges seem bigger than they are. But when you take action, even a small one, fear loses its power. Movement creates momentum, and momentum carries you forward. The first step may not be perfect, but it will teach you something valuable, and every step after that will teach you more. That is how progress is made, not in giant leaps, but in steady motion. Waiting for the perfect moment also robs you of opportunities you cannot see yet. Life opens doors for those who are already moving, not for those who are standing still. When you start now, you place yourself in the path of possibility. You meet people, you learn skills, you discover directions that were invisible until you began. These blessings do not appear to those who keep waiting for a sign. The act of starting is the sign. You may think the risk of starting now is too high, but the greater risk is doing nothing. Regret is heavier than failure. Failure teaches you lessons, but regret leaves you wondering what could have been. When you look back years from now, you will not regret the steps you took, even if they were clumsy. You will regret the steps you never dared to take, and the only way to avoid that regret is to begin today. Starting now does not mean you must have a grand plan. It can be as simple as writing one page, making one call, learning one new skill, or sharing one idea. These small beginnings matter. They are seeds that grow over time. If you wait for perfection, the seed stays in your pocket, never planted, never watered, never allowed to bloom. But if you plant it now, even with doubts, even with fear, One day you will look back and see how far you have come, simply because you chose not to. Your cracks are where the light enters. We are often taught to hide our flaws, to cover our wounds, to present ourselves as perfect in front of the world. We polish the surface, put on smiles, and pretend that everything is fine. Yet deep inside, we carry scars, brokenness, and stories we are afraid to share. What we fail to realize is that those very cracks, those imperfections, are not our shame but our strength. They are the places where truth lives, the spaces where growth begins, the openings where light can enter and transform us. Imagine a piece of pottery that has been broken and then repaired with gold, a practice known in Japan as kintsugi. Instead of hiding the cracks, the gold highlights them, making the piece even more beautiful and valuable than before. Life does the same with us. Our cracks may come from heartbreak, failure, rejection, or loss. But when we allow light to enter them, they become the most radiant parts of who we are. They remind us that we are not fragile because we have been broken. We are strong because we survive. When you embrace your cracks, you give yourself permission to be human. You no longer waste energy pretending to be flawless. You begin to see that vulnerability is not weakness, but courage. By opening up about your struggles, you allow others to feel less alone in theirs. Your honesty becomes a light for someone else who thought they were the only one in the dark. The cracks you carry become bridges of connection, creating bonds far deeper than surface-level perfection ever could. Cracks also remind us that healing is possible. They tell the story of battles fought and challenges endured. They are proof that pain came, but it did not win. They show that even though life broke you, you had the strength to rise again. And every time light enters those cracks, it fills you with wisdom, compassion, and resilience. You begin to see that your scars are not the end of your story, but powerful chapters within it. The world chases perfection, but perfection is lifeless. It has no story, no depth, no soul. What makes you real and relatable are the struggles you have faced, the cracks you carry, the way you continue despite them. Think of the people who inspire you most. Are they the ones who never faced hardship? Or are they the ones who embraced their brokenness and turned it into strength? It is always the second, because light shines brighter through brokenness than it does through untouched glass. Your cracks also allow growth. When life breaks you open, it creates space for new beginnings, new dreams, and new strength. If you were never cracked, you might stay closed, safe, untouched, but also untransformed. Sometimes the breaking is necessary for the light to enter, for the lessons to be learned, for the courage to be born. The very places you once tried to hide become the sources of your greatest power. So instead of hiding your cracks, honor them. Instead of covering your wounds, let them breathe. The light you are searching for does not come from pretending you are whole. It comes from embracing the truth that even in your brokenness, you are still worthy, still beautiful, and still capable of shining.